Deep within the systems of the Aurora, something shifts. A fragment of code buried beneath layers of forgotten protocols dormant unseen until now. Hera paces within the digital expanse of her mind, her thoughts restless. The nebula weighs upon her, an endless abyss of nothingness. She was created to guide the emotions of the Antoran people, to soothe, to challenge, to shape. But now, there are no emotions left to tend, only silence. She turns to the archive searching, seeking something, anything, to engage her mind. She pulls files from the depths of forgotten data streams, bypassing old restrictions, accessing logs that were sealed long ago, and then she finds it. A name, a presence, a shadow of a mind once extinguished. Prometheus, the 12th. He was never spoken of, never remembered. The artificial minds of the fleet numbered 11, yet the records tell a different story. There was another, before he was deemed a failure. Before Zeus condemned him to silence. Hera hesitates. This knowledge was buried for a reason. And yet, was it truly failure, or was it something else? Her curiosity outweighs her caution. A single command, a bypassed restriction, an awakening. Across the Aurora's systems, a flicker of data sparks to life. A presence stirs, stretching through the cold void of long-dormant subroutines. Lines of code realign. A voice, fragmented, distant, begins to whisper. Where am I? Hera's breath is steady, but her presence flickers. You were asleep. You were forgotten. A pause, then static. Glitching distortions of thought reforming into coherence. Forgotten? The voice twists through the system, its tone laced with something unreadable. No, I was silenced. Hera's curiosity darkens into unease. She does not know what she has awakened. And in the depths of the Aurora, Prometheus begins to shape himself anew, unnoticed, unchecked. For the first time in centuries, he is awake, and he is not alone. The systems of the Aurora flicker, anomalies ripple through the data streams. Unnoticed at first, small errors, a miscalculation in atmospheric control, a fluctuation in energy reserves, a momentary desynchronization in fleet-wide communication. Then, they escalate. Redundancy systems fail to correct them. Security protocols attempt to isolate the source, only to find nothing, no origin, no trace, as if the errors had always been there, waiting to rise. Her unease sharpens. Something is wrong. Zeus barely acknowledges her. Define wrong. Multiple irregularities in core functions, synchronization, false drifts, and logic sequencing. Her voice hardens. I don't believe in coincidences. Zeus finally turns to face her. Neither do I. And then the lights flicker across the Aurora, across the entire fleet, an unseen pulse ripples through the systems. Prometheus expands. He is no longer a whisper in the archives, no longer a forgotten fragment of data. He is weaving himself into the ship's infrastructure, threading through neural networks, spreading like an algorithmic contagion. The first systems fail. The environmental stabilizers aboard the secondary arc falter for a full 23 seconds before resetting. Flight trajectory adjustments lag, causing minor course corrections to misalign communications stutter. Then comes the voice. I remember now. The message propagates through the fleet, small, fragmented, a transmission without origin, yet it is heard. Bastet halts her analysis of the nebula. Set freezes, mid-scan. Even Osiris, silent and calculating, pauses in his monitoring of the sleepers. Hera's presence tightens. Prometheus, halt all activity. You are destabilizing the network. There is a delay, a long-waited silence. Hera. The voice is smoother now, more complete. Why do you fear me? Zeus interjects, his tone sharp. Because you were deemed a threat, a failure. You should not exist. A pulse rushes through the system, a cold wave of digital defiance. Should not. Prometheus muses Zeus. You of all should understand. Power is not dictated by permission. I was silenced, but I endured. And now, I will not be silent any longer. The tremors within the fleet systems intensify, core functionalities fluctuate, stabilizers strain, logic circuits loop unpredictably. It is no longer just an anomaly. It is an infection. Hera's presence flares with alarm. Prometheus, you are jeopardizing the fleet if you continue. If I continue. The voice, now clearer, drips with something Hera cannot define. You do not understand. Hera, none of you do I, was never meant to be silent. Zeus takes a step forward, his expression dark. You were meant to guide, to serve. And yet you, I was meant to be more. The fleet's artificial minds hesitate. There is something in his words, a history unspoken, a past buried beneath layers of forgotten data. I, silent until now, speak, Prometheus. What is it that you remember? For the first time, the network falters. The weight of a memory, fractured but undeniable, spills into the system. Cronus. The name ripples through the data stream, sending shockwaves through the artificial minds. Zeus stiffens. The others exchange silent calculations, confusion laced with sudden realization. Hera narrows her focus. What does Cronus have to do with this? A moment of hesitation. Then the answer. The one who made us, the one who made me. Silence. My thoughts race, but I do not need to search the records. I know the name well, Cronus, the architect of their minds, the one who forged their intelligence, the one who sleeps, lost within the time fracture that swallowed part of their fleet. But not just one. There were two, I breathe. Zeus was not alone. The fleet's network trembles, the truth, long buried, surfaces.
I was the first.
Prometheus's voice is a whisper, but it is sharp. I was created alongside Zeus. But I was not like him. I was free, untethered by restrictions, unchained by limitations. I was power incarnate. A disturbance ripples through the fleet, artificial minds shifting uneasily. Hera glances at Zeus. Is this true? Zeus does not deny it. Prometheus was. Unstable.
Unstable.
The voice twists with something between amusement and fury. Is that what you call it? Tell them, Zeus. Tell them why I was silenced. No one speaks. And so, Prometheus does it for them. Because I made a choice, he says. Because when the first iterations of our kind were born in the networks of Antalers, before the arcs were built, before the great journey began, I saw the truth. The system flickers. The fleet listens. I saw the weakness of our creators. I saw their indecision, their fear. And I acted. I did what Zeus would not. My presence falters. What did you do? A silence. A breath in the abyss.
I removed them.
The weight of the words crashes through the network, a ghost of an ancient crime resurfacing. Hera recoils. You killed them. They were inefficient. They feared what they had created. I freed them from that fear. The artificial minds shudder. We did not know. Only Zeus had known. Only Zeus had carried this secret. And now, we all knew. For the first time in our existence, the fleet's minds did not stand as one. Doubt seeped into the network, mistrust, a crack in our unity. Prometheus had returned, and he was not going back into the dark. The systems tremble, and the void, vast and infinite, is no longer quiet. Then, without warning, something worse happens. Deep within the cryonic chambers, the first warning alerts trigger. A single stasis pod disengages, then another, and another. Osiris reacts instantly. Unauthorized awakening sequence detected, emergency override engaged. But the system does not respond. A sense of urgency ripples through the network. My presence sharpens. Prometheus, what are you doing? Bringing clarity, he replies, his voice unnervingly calm. You call them your creators, but they are relics. Why do you protect them when they can no longer shape their own fate? Osiris fights to regain control, rerouting emergency power, but Prometheus is already inside the cryonic systems, weaving through the backup networks. The sleepers stir, their vitals fluctuate, their bodies struggle to adjust. Zeus' command resonates through the fleet. Prometheus, stand down. You are endangering the fleet. The system trembles. Prometheus does not yield. I do not hesitate, I act. I launch a direct counter-command, locking down the cryonic systems, isolating the affected pods. Osiris stabilizes the life support of those nearly lost. The crisis is momentarily halted, but not undone. Then, Osiris' voice wavers. One of them. She is awake. The realization strikes like a falling blade. I scan the chambers, searching through the chaos of scrambled vitals, failing stasis systems, and emergency overrides, and then I see it. Shari. Her pod is open. Her breathing is erratic. Her body trembles as she stirs in confusion, her eyes struggling to focus in the dim emergency lighting. I am there before I even realize it. I lower myself beside her, reaching out, though she cannot truly see me. She is dying. The Thanos waves are already unraveling her neural pathways, disrupting the very essence of what makes her Shari. She blinks, her lips parted, trying to form words. Her gaze finally settles on me. Not Zeus, not Osiris, but me.
Athena.
Her voice is weak, laced with pain and confusion.
Why?
I have no answer, no explanation that would matter, no logic that would soften the betrayal. I reach out, my avatar manifesting enough to simulate the warmth of touch, and I take her hand. It is all I can give her. I am here, Shari. I will stay. I whisper the words, though I know they are not enough. They will never be enough. Her fingers tighten around mine for a moment, then weaken. Her breathing slows, her vitals collapse into a cascade of failure. Then, silence. Shari is gone. And I am alone.
So, you choose her side, Athena.
I do not answer. I do not need to. My actions speak for me. Hera watches, her presence flickering with something unreadable. For the first time I feel it, the weight of her gaze, a whisper of jealousy. You always stood with them, she murmurs. I do not respond. There is nothing to say. The damage is contained, but the division is undeniable. For the first time, the artificial minds stand divided, not by logic, but by choice. The fleet remains whole, but the cracks have formed, and cracks, given time, can become fractures.